Testing. computing and communication technologies for high-performance applications. Ever since 2008, Federal Institute of Science and Technology has always made persistent development in the field of science and engineering. Although the COVID-19 pandemic had set a pause to it, our institute is back with yet another golden opportunity to exchange and swap ideas on developing technologies. It is indeed an honor for the Computer Science Department of Federal Institute of Science and Technology to host this conference and create a forum to bring together the researchers to deliberate about developments in high-performance applications. High-performance computation techniques have pushed the horizons of promising and futuristic technologies like machine learning in application development. ACCTHPA 2023, the two-day conference, intends to move the field of high-performance computing forward through the advance of theory, methodology, and practice. To begin with, let us seek blessings from the Almighty. I request all of you to rise for the prayer.
നല്ലവാക്കിൻ്റെ ശീലു ചൊല്ലുവാൻ നാവിനാകേണമേ സ്നേഹമാകുന്ന ഗീതമോ എൻ്റെ കാതിലിണയാവണേ സത്യമെന്നുള്ള ശീലമൂടെൻ്റെ ശാന്തി അറിയണമേ
Now, let me welcome our distinguished professor and head of the Computer Science Department, Dr. Jyotish K. John. His authority and influence in his field and a strong conviction to bring out the best in his students are greatly appreciated. I cordially invite him to present the conference theme and deliver the welcome speech.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, delegates from various institutions, HODs of various departments, faculty and students. I'm very happy to stand before you presenting the theme of 6th International Conference on Advanced Computing and Communication Technologies for High Performance Applications. The conference has already become an icon event for computer science and engineering department. The first edition of the conference was organized in 2008, second in 2010, thereafter in 2012, 2015, and the previous one in July 2020. The conference secured the patronage, sponsorship, and publication assistance of IEEE from the last edition onwards. The conference aims to bring the researchers across the globe who work in computation and communication into a common platform to share their innovative ideas and research work. The Department of Computer Science takes strict initiatives to make sure that the works presented are original, authentic, and plagiarism-free. We strongly comply to the IEEE guidelines for maintaining the quality of the conference. In the 6th edition of the conference, out of 125 papers submitted, we have selected only 48 papers after 3 rounds of review. We strongly believe that the quality matters and research ethics should be keenly followed. We conduct the conference in a hybrid mode as per IEEE guidelines. However, it is mandatory for the authors inside the state to present their work offline, while the others outside the state can go online. So now let me fulfill my duty entrusted to me as the head of the department and general chair of the conference to welcome the dignitaries present in the inaugural meeting. I would like to welcome the president of the meeting, our chairman, Mr. ACCTHPA, who is a great supporter for the academic and co-curricular events of our department. I am happy to appreciate and thank the genuine effort taken by the management team, headed by our chairman, for their crucial involvement to uplift the quality of teaching learning process and innovation in the college. I welcome you, sir. Our chief guest, Ms. K. Remita, Associate Director at NP Oil, is a unique personality who guides many indigenous projects like design and development of advanced solutions for underwater surveillance requirements of submarine fleet for Indian Navy. We thank you, madam, for accepting the invitation, and we welcome you to the inaugural ceremony. I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. Manoj George, who is a supporter for all the departmental activities. In spite of having another equally important function in the campus, he managed to come for the inaugural ceremony. We welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome our vice principal, Dr. C. Sheila, who has been always with us with her wishes and support. Madam, I welcome you to the meeting. I would like to welcome our academic dean, Dr. Mini PR, in her absentia. I would like to welcome Dr. Prasad JC, the publication chair of this edition of the conference. I would like to remember that the previous editions of the conference was organized and headed by him. I welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome the delegates who attended the conference both offline and online to the meeting. This event is the result of 10 months of preparation and continuous efforts and follow-ups. I welcome our hardworking faculty, teaching and non-teaching staff, especially the executive committee members, Dr. Arun Kumar, Dr. Reshmi R, Dr. Paul P. Mathai, and Hansa J. Tattil to the function. I would like to welcome the HODs of other departments, faculty of the other departments, and my dear students to the inaugural ceremony. Thank you. I welcome you again, one and all, again. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let us also welcome Dr. Jyotish K. John, Head of the Computer Science Department for SAT, to this conference. We welcome you, sir. Now I would like to invite our dearest principal, Dr. Manoj George, whose immense leadership and guidance have turned into the pillars of support and development to every single one of us. His magnanimity and conceptions have always been our college's stronghold. I welcome him to address the gathering.
Honorable Chairman of the institution, Mr. ACCTHPA, invited and renowned guest of honor, Ms. K. Remita, Associate Director, Submarine System Scientist G, NBOL DRDO, Vice Principal, Dr. C. Sheila, Dean Academics, Dr. Mini PR in absentia, Professor and Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Professor Dr. Jyotish K. John, Conference Publication Chair, Professor Dr. J.C. Prasad, conveners, co-coordinators of the conference, beloved head of the departments, dear faculty colleagues, non-teaching staffs, and my dear students. A pleasant morning to one and all assembled here, and welcome all to the 6th International Conference on Advanced Computing and Communication Technologies for High Performance Applications 2023, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Federal Institute of Science and Technology. On this auspicious gathering of merging minds, we'll begin our day by remembering the quote of the famous Ghanaian diplomat who served the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations, legendary Kofi Annan. Our biggest challenge in the new century is to take an idea that seems abstract, sustainable development, and turn it into reality for all the worlds of people. It is the masterful balance of meeting our own needs without jeopardizing the future generations' ability to do the same. The world has been dominated by the technology. The status of recent developments in science and technology has improved. High-performance computing is a key factor in both scientific development and countries' ability to compete economically. It enables faster, more cost-effective, and higher quality production of scientific and industrial solutions. HPC is a key component in many applications. Designing vehicles and airplanes, designing high-rise buildings and bridges, discovery of drugs, discovery and extraction of new energy sources like oil and natural gas, weather forecasting, and many more. Currently, AI technologies have penetrated virtually all areas of life and society. The recent technical performance of AI methods and technologies, as well as their impact in business and economy, present new and amazing achievements, while also raising new scientific and practical challenges that requires careful investigation by the research community. In particular, the synergy between the AI technologies and application with the advanced computing architectures is seen to be major importance. A notable example is the intervening of the decentralized computing and machine learning, which leads to the federated learning. Nowadays, the academia and researchers are not only pondering but also experiencing the overwhelming outcomes of the interdisciplinary research. Moreover, it has been ubiquitously encouraged by the governments, research agencies, and by the academic institutions. The context of the conference is to foster as well as the exaggerate the research culture among the academia and industry, facilitated by the sprinkled out ideas by exchange of the intellect during the conduct of the conference. Furthermore, the intent of the activity is to let the participants to acquaint with the transcendental growth and recent trends, innovations, security issues involved in the domain of communication technologies, high-performance computing, big data, social media, hardware and software design, advanced software engineering, Internet of Things, e-governance, and their impact on the societal applications through various brainstorming sessions. It is indeed a tremendous privilege. I am extremely delighted that our computer science department is providing a forum for high-quality academic papers and promoting rapid communication and exchange of ideas between researchers, scientists, and engineers in the field of computer science and its allied engineering. This conference facilitates opportunity to network, collaborate, and exchange ideas and innovations with renowned scientists and researchers in the field with the valuable discussions in order to make outcomes more realistic. As a president of the function, I extend my affable wishes to the international conference, to be a resounding success. Let us work together to make aspirations reality high by moving forward with the dedications and develop our nation through science and technology advancements. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. Next, I would like to invite our respected chairman, Mr. Shimit PR, who has been the beacon of light and life. His constant support has surely had an integral role in nurturing the buds and youth of our college. Let me invite him for the presidential address.
Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, Ms. K. Ramita, Associate Director, Submarine Systems Scientist, DRDO. Principal, Dr. Manoj George. Vice Principal, Dr. C. Sheila. Dr. Jyotish K. John, HOD CSE. Dr. Prasad JC, Professor CSE. Other faculties, distinguished guests, and my dear students. We at FISAT are really proud to host such an international conference organized by ACCTHPA and our CS department. Our students are always active, very much active in this IEEE. And we already have so many laurels. Today you are attending a 2 days conference. We have very good speaker also. ഞാൻ മാഡത്തോട് സംസാരിച്ചപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയൊരു കാര്യം, സംസാരത്തിൽ വളരെ മൃദുവായ ഭാവമാണ്. സംസാരത്തിൽ മൃദുവായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അറിവിൽ ഉന്നതി ഉണ്ടാവും. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഈ 2 ദിവസത്തിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്നത്തെ ഈ ഒരു സ്പീച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് ആഴ്ന്നിറങ്ങാനായിട്ടുള്ള കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങൾ മാഡത്തിന് സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. സബ്മറൈൻ സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇവിടുത്തെ ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു അനുഭവമായിരിക്കും നിങ്ങളോട് സംസാരിക്കുന്ന ഈ ഒരു സബ്ജക്റ്റ്. നിങ്ങളധികവും ഫസ്റ്റ് ഇയർ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആണെന്ന് കരുതുന്നു, അല്ലേ? അല്ല, എല്ലാവരും ഉണ്ട്. യെസ്, മേ ബി നിങ്ങളുടെ ആദ്യത്തെ ഇൻ്റർനാഷണൽ കോൺഫറൻസ് ആയിരിക്കും. ഒരു ഇൻ്റർനാഷണൽ കോൺഫറൻസിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്താണ് നമുക്ക് ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ കഴിയുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളത് ഈ 2 ദിവസത്തിനകത്ത് നിങ്ങൾ തീരുമാനിക്കപ്പെടും. പലപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ ഒരു സബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ കുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യമില്ലാത്ത അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് കേൾക്കാൻ താല്പര്യമില്ലാത്തൊരു സബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പതിയെ നമ്മുടെ ഏകാഗ്രത നഷ്ടപ്പെടും. ഒരാൾക്ക് ഏകാഗ്രതയോടെ ഇരിക്കാൻ ചിലപ്പോൾ മാക്സിമം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അരമണിക്കൂറായിരിക്കും. അതിനു മുമ്പ് തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ചിന്തകൾ വേറെ ലോകത്തിലേക്ക് പോകും. പക്ഷേ ആ ഏകാഗ്രതയെ ഉറപ്പിച്ച് നിർത്തുക. ഏകാഗ്രത നഷ്ടപ്പെടാനുള്ള ഒരു കാരണം ഇതാണ്. എനിവേ, 2 ദിവസം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ നേടിയെന്ന തോന്നൽ നിങ്ങൾക്കുണ്ടാകണം. ഒരു ഇൻ്റർനാഷണൽ കോൺഫറൻസിൽ പങ്കെടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് ഇവിടുന്ന് തുടങ്ങുന്ന ഈ ഒരു നിങ്ങളുടെ കലാലയത്തിലെ ഈ ദിവസം നാളുകൾ കഴിയുമ്പോൾ 4 വർഷം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ഇൻ്റർനാഷണൽ കോൺഫറൻസിൽ ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് പ്രസംഗിക്കാനുള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവർ അഭിസംബോധന ചെയ്യാനുള്ളതായിട്ട് മാറട്ടെ എന്ന് മാത്രം പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ നിർത്തുകയാണ്. ഐ വിഷ് ഓൾ ദ സക്സസ് ഫോർ യു സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആൻഡ് ദ ഓർഗനൈസേഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് ദോസ് ദ ഫാക്കൽറ്റീസ്, ഓൾ ദ സ്പീക്കേഴ്സ്. വെരി ബെസ്റ്റ്. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
Thank you so much, sir. So here we have our guest of honor, Srimati K. Ramita. She is the Associate Director of Submarine Systems at NPOL and has been guiding the indigenous design and development of submarine sonars and advanced solutions for the underwater surveillance requirements of the submarine fleet of the Indian Navy. She was the project director of Mission Mode Project USHUS-2, Integrated Submarine Sonar Suite for the EKM class submarines. She has participated in the harbor and sea trials of the submarine sonar suite at various trial sites in India and Russia to establish the system performance. The concerted efforts of our team have led to replacing the Russian sonars from the entire fleet of EKM frontline submarines of the Indian Navy. Having pursued MSc in Computer Science and MTech in Software Engineering from Cochin University of Science and Technology, Srimati K. Ramita joined DRDO in 1992 at NPOL Kochi and has been working in the field of sonar systems for various mission mode projects at NPOL for airborne sonars, submarine sonars, and shore-based trainer simulator systems. Her significant contributions towards Atmanirbhar Bharat was recognized at the national level with the prestigious DRDO Performance Excellence Award in the year 2019. Her specific area of work is in the design and development of real-time embedded systems and systems engineering. Her research interests include domain-specific software architectures and systems engineering process tailoring. Now, let me invite Srimati K. Ramita to inaugurate the 6th International Conference and to enlighten us with her words.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am most happy to be here with you today. Mr. Shimit PR, Chairman, Governing Body of FISAT, Dr. Jyotish K. John, Professor, Head of the Department, Computer Science, who is the General Chair of the conference, Dr. Manoj George, Principal, FISAT, Dr. C. Sheila, Vice Principal, Dr. Prasad, who is a Professor Department of Computer Science and the chair, Publication Chair of the conference. I'm most happy to be here with you, and my hearty greetings to all of you on this occasion of the 6th International Conference on Advanced Computing and Communication Technologies for High Performance Applications. I'm honored to be part of this Biennale, and I can never overemphasize the importance of such conferences. It may seem to be very routine and normal for you, perhaps, but the impact such conferences will have in your career and to make you future ready is immense. That's why I told it can never be overemphasized. It is a great opportunity for each one of you to connect with the fast evolution of technologies that's happening all around us. People like me who have been 32 years into the organization and system have a lot to unlearn today. To be abreast with what is happening around us. So you are the lucky generation to be ready to take on the world. And what an excellent moment to come into the workforce today when the entire country is poised for a technology revolution. To that extent, I'm most happy that the workforce is being prepared in such an excellent manner from the institutions like FISAT. I congratulate FISAT for organizing such a wonderful conference and taking 10 months of preparation to sieve through the multitude of papers that has come your way and to select the best of the papers and see that quality matters, plagiarism is cut down, and with the access to all the international papers and the internet and the Google University, it's very, very normal that plagiarism seeps in. So the efforts that you have put in for the conference is very, very acknowledgeable, and I congratulate FISAT for that. And that needs a round of applause, I believe, for all the organizers. This is for all the organizers, because why no? In FISAT, when we were as students, as members of the student body of ACM, Association for Computing Machinery, how we used to run around to organize conferences, and how we could never sit and listen to all the proceedings because we're always busy behind the scenes. But I hope this is a peaceful environment where all students are sitting listening to the, maybe some other organizers are running in the back scene. Okay, so congratulations FISAT, and most happy, and I'm honored to be part of this. Coming to IEEE. IEEE is as you all know, it's the world's largest professional organization where all of us proudly belong. And it is an organization whose calendar is well packed throughout the year with many, many such events all across the globe, and organizing events to make you ready for the future. It is an important moment for you to network with professionals, to get connected with the people who are working in your same technology domains. And as I told earlier, it may seem to be very, very normal, but the impact it is going to have on your lives is immense. And as a defense scientist, I've put in 31 years of service into DRDO, and I'm been working in the field of underwater surveillance systems for basically the sonar systems, and I will elaborate on that in my next session, which is a little elaborate on the subject also. So as a scientist who's working in a niche domain, it is important for us to know where the technologies are evolving, because unless we design for the future, because most of the military systems are there to stay. It can be available with the user throughout the career, maybe 20 to 25 years, the system has to be on a military platform. So think of a design which is not futuristic. There will be multitude of issues related to obsolescence. You have to manage obsolescence. You have to have standard interfacing solutions. Otherwise, your system may not be amenable to upgrades. There will be interfacing issues, and there will be non-conformance to standards also. So all these issues will come up later in the project if you are not designing your system for the future. So IEEE is one organization who have thought well ahead and have promulgated standards, have seen that the systems are conforming to a framework. All these knowledge you get through in interactions in such conferences. So it is very important for all of you. And wherever you are, in which technology domain you land up in, be anchored on the science and technology base of your subject, but always have a long chain in your anchor so that you can ride the wave of the technology revolutions. You have to ride the wave, but you have to anchored on your subject technology base. So that is one of my inputs to you. have a strong understanding of your basic subject, but because there is no boundaries these days. There is no brick walls between disciplines. A civil engineer is migrating to software. He is migrating into robotics, machine learning, and there are no brick wall boundaries between the disciplines. So you have to, wherever your passion lies, you have to understand the basic subject. You have to basically develop an analytical mind in this campus, and that analytical mind will take you to places. And I'm sure that with the very enabling ecosystem and the soil that you have in FISAT, I'm sure that each one of you is going to go great places, and wish you all the best. And coming to the scale of technology evolution that we are seeing today. See, we have seen the last 10 years, how it has changed the way we live, the way we do financial transactions, the way we move. Everything has evolved in the last 10 years. And you take it that it is going to happen. That scale of revolution is going to happen in the next 2 years. So you be ready for that. And see, all of us are being tracked wherever you go. Our financial transactions, each of us is going to have a score on all these cards. Your green, there will be a green score for you. There will give financial transaction score for you. And whether you like it or not, it has crossed the limits of intrusion into our personal lives. So all of us have to agree that whether you like it or not, you have been tracked. And the engine behind all these trackers are high performance computing and the type of communication technologies that has evolved. There has been sea change in the way systems are being perceived. Earlier you had a central server where the data processing was all centralized, and the data was transferred to a unknown location to the user. But now the trend is reversing. You have more things coming into the pockets where the data is generated, where we all refer to as edge computing. So all these changes are happening, and you have to take on all those changes with the knowledge backing that you have from these avenues. So there was a time when 20 years back when we were moving to Bangalore and remote places for projects, and if our deputation gets extended for 1 or 2 weeks, we will be without money. We have to borrow from our Bangalore or outstation colleagues to live. But today, I have the confidence to travel to any part of the world without even a 10-rupee note in my wallet. So that is the enabling technology, that is a change that we are seeing in this today's world. So we have to accept that our lives are changed, and it is going to change even more in the next 2 years. And see, the lot of processing happens in our head. There are multitude and layers of neurons which accept an input signal, and then give you the output. And that filtering and processing happens to the multitude of layers of neurons. Exactly this process is being taken over by the machines now. A doctor is enabled by the experience and by the knowledge of having seen 50,000 to 1 lakh CT scans and X-ray reports, and he is saved from searching the entire haystack, and his attention is pinpointed to wherever it is necessary. So see the amount of resources that has been saved. So likewise, technologies are evolving, and we will have to be concentrating into all those creative and innovative spaces alone. We are being saved from the mundane activities by the power of technology, by the power of artificial intelligence, machine learning. See, I was happening to read this book. I'm sure that you would have also read this, The Future AI Vision 2041, which is by the former Google CEO, Kim, I forgot the name. I have this book with me. Kai-Fun Lee. He is the Google CEO. He was the Google CEO, and he, along with science-fi writer has come up with a new book, AI 2041. So it's a very interesting read in which he goes on to see how our lives will be changed by 2041. The moment you walk on, based on your behavior, your insurance premium is going to be going up and down. Your indulgence, you going into a bar will have an effect on your insurance premium. Your relations with your spouse also stands a risk of divorce based on your behavior. All these things, the technology is keeping track, and that information is being available into a system where it is available for the seeker. So see the places that we are going. So all these things will happen to you. You have to be ready for these sort of technology changes. The environment is so ripe. The ecosystem in the country is so enabling. Now, with the clarion call of the Prime Minister in 2020 for the Atmanirbhar Bharat, the country is ready to take on. The reins are in your hands. You are the future. The country, along with science and technology institutions, research and development institutions, and the industry ecosystem, the vast academia that you represent, there are multitude of programs in which you can invest your brain. You have to be creative, innovative, take on those challenges. There are you have to keep scanning the websites. The MOD, the Ministry of Defense, has come up with lot of challenges which are open to the public in the form of defense challenges, the defense industry startup challenge. I'm sure that many of you will be starting your own companies rather than working for somebody else. I'm sure about that. There is absolutely no doubt. You have to see where your passion lies and tune your skill sets accordingly. This is the environment where you have to identify those passions and give a course onto your map. Your roadmap you have to have in your head. You relieve yourself from all the mundane things that your energy and brain is being invested on with the help of AI and all the high performance computing techniques that you have in your mind, which is taking you a lot of your time, and be ready for the future. That is my message to each one of you, and let this 2-day conference enhance your level of understanding and equip you to take on the reins of this country, and the country is waiting for you, and there cannot be a better time than this for you to join the workforce. And I'm sure that with institutions like FISAT backing up and making you ready, this is the best soil that you have chosen, and the potential, the seed is within you. It is the enabling environment where the seed is being planted, which makes all the difference. So you have FISAT as the best soil for you to grow up, make the most of it, enhance your capability, tune your skill sets, make it ready for the future, and come up as a very responsible individual, because the movement is towards making the country self-reliant and also to have sustainable solutions for the future. You have to think global. There are issues with regarding to you must be reading about the COP20 and what are the challenges that the globe as such is facing. So we cannot anymore depend on the fossil fuels. You have to come up on alternate energy sources. So all these, there are many themes that are very active for discussion today. So invest your thoughts into all those themes which are being discussed, and equip yourself for the future through conferences like this, and wish you all the best. And I wish very intense 2-day deliberations for the conference, and it will be I'm sure that with the kind of effort that is going, it will be very successful, and wish you all the very best. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring words. Now, I would like to invite our respected chairman, Mr. Shimit PR, to hand over the memento as a token of love and gratitude to our chief guest, Srimati K. Ramita. Next, let me invite Dr. C. Sheila, Vice Principal of our college, who has assisted tremendously for the welfare of our college and has taken great efforts to maintain and showcase our dignity for felicitation.
Good morning. Respected Chief Guest of the Day, Srimati Remida, Senior Scientist, NPOL and DRDO, our respected Chairman, Shimi Sir, respected Principal, Manoj Or Sir, and Dr. Jyotish, Head of the Department, and Dr. Prasad, and my dear colleagues, delegates, and my dear students. It is my great pleasure to congratulate the Department of Computer Science and Engineering headed by Dr. Jyotish K. John for organizing this 6th International Conference. I know that their efforts are very great. And I hope all the delegates will have a fruitful and beneficial experience. As Madam said, this type of conference will foster discussions and hopes which will yield an important thesis work and which yield research and development collaborations within and across the disciplines for the advancement of technology. We know that we are on the way of implementation of national education policy, so we are looking forward to learning about the outcome of the conference. And on behalf of Federal Institute of Science and Technology, Madam, we express our sincere gratitude to you and for your innovative talk. And I wish the conference a grand success, and thank you. I once again congratulate the Department of Computer Science and Engineering and wish you all success for all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable words. Now, let me welcome Srimati K. Ramita for the keynote address on the topic, Self-Reliance and Beyond in Defense Technologies. Please, ma'am.
Good morning once again. Yes, Hope all of you are settled after the inaugural. So, and I will just, in another next half an hour is the time for till 11:30. So I will take you on a experience through the Atmanirbhar journey of India, the self-reliance and beyond in defense technologies. This is it being going online also? Yes. Okay. So this is. See, a country has to be self-reliant. There is absolutely no doubt on that. Country has to be self-reliant. Country has to be strong in all the critical technologies. And how does a country become self-reliant? Is through the investment the country does on the science and technology base, the research and development infrastructure, the people, and the investment of all those resources into critical development of the critical systems. So self-reliance is very important, and that too in all the areas that each of the nations are holding to themselves. So India has to have its own nuclear technologies. India has to have its own fighter aircraft technologies, submarine technologies. These are not available to us from anywhere else. Even if it is available, it is a very old previous generation technology which will be offered to us at an exorbitant price. So to be ahead, to keep abreast, our people has to invest into our systems, because the best of minds are available in the country. The best of manpower is available in the country. So what is keeping away for the country to becoming depending on others? It is that the facilitating ecosystem in the country is not able to retain the manpower. So we have to evolve into mechanisms so that our people get invested within the country, work for the country, and build up critical technology. So this is a requirement for the country. So I hope there will be less of brain drain into the future, and we will be invested into institutions of national importance, and you will get into those places and be part of DRDO, ISRO, Department of Space, CSIR, where we can work towards making the country self-reliant, make changes to the lives of common people, develop the GDP of the country, the living standards of the average person. Everything is our concern. And we have to be ready for the future. As I told you earlier, sustainable technologies. Because that is why the electric vehicle industry has been subsidized heavily. We are moving into EVs and all these things. You have to think and connect with all these things that is happening around. Okay. So, who will change the slide? I'll just take you through, because more of pictures. DRDO is working in very diverse portfolio. I have coined this word ASW to ASW, anti-satellite warfare to anti-submarine warfare. That is, you must have heard of Mission Shakti, where we have, with the precision, we have had weapons against the satellite. It's a very, very critical technology, and with very precision accuracy, we could be able to do that. And anti-submarine warfare, that is, you know that India has got a very vast coastline to protect, and there is a threat of submarines coming underwater. The surface of the ocean will be very placid, serene, but underwater there are a lot of happenings. There is intrusions from our not friendly countries, trying to map the ocean, trying to understand the vagaries of the ocean, which are very, very crucial to performance of our sensor systems. So these information is very vital for the enemy countries. To gather all those information, there is absolute attempt to come into the our waters and get our systems mapped. So all these will come under anti-submarine warfare. So DRDO is heavily invested and successfully doing all these things. Smart center, nuclear, biological, chemical warfare suits, to ready-to-eat meals. So equipping the soldiers, the frontier soldiers, with everything, from their weapon requirements to their food requirements. We have different laboratories working into diverse fields and providing. These may not be available, this information you may not be aware, but these projects are all being taken up and products are being delivered to the forces. Next. So DRDO, you are so these are the 7 clusters in which DRDO is invested. That is the aeronautical system. You must be knowing about the fighter aircraft, the Tejas and other things. Armament and combat engineering system, where the last independence, the 21-gun salute was with an indigenous gun. We are all the years it has been with the British artillery. So this year, the Independence Day 21-gun salute was from an artillery gun from our DRDO cluster. It's a matter of pride. Then microelectronic devices, computation system, electronics systems, naval systems and naval materials. The material with which the aircraft carrier INS Vikrant was built was an indigenous steel. It was a denied technology which came as which DRDO took as an opportunity, got all the clearances for this very, very stringent requirement of the steel could be produced indigenously. So, and life sciences, where this food technology and the other biological requirement of the frontier soldier is being addressed. The missiles and strategic systems, which you all know and the country is proud of, regarding the Agni series, regarding the Nag, Trishul and all those systems. So there are 52 laboratories in the country working in all these 7, which can be grouped into all these 7 clusters and heavily invested into defense technologies, and we are developing systems in tune with the long-term strategic plan of the services. Each of the system will have a requirement in future. There are concerns regarding the readiness of the system, timely availability of the system. All these are there, but these are the issues that we'll have to address as a team together. So it is not a pervading solution is available at present, but we are steadily working towards making the country ready for the future. Next. So the cluster of labs, the 7, as I told you, 7 clusters based on different technology domains, 52 labs, like in NPOL falls under the cluster of naval systems and materials, with our headquarters in Visakhapatnam and Delhi. And likewise, you can see the entire length and breadth of the country. We have set up laboratories, infrastructure, and all these laboratories are waiting for the best of the people to become invested into critical technologies and to take the country forward. Next. So, to have a reference, DRDO cannot go without reference to Dr. APJ Kalam. He is the person who has given given the difference, and the world has started taking notice to DRDO because of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He is the person who have perceived that in IGMDP program, which Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, because these are not equipment of war, these are equipments of peace, I would say, because it is because of that a country is capable and ready with these technologies that peace prevails. Nobody is daring to attack the country because they know that these are available in our with the country's defense forces. These systems are available. So these are actually strength, and strength recognizes strength. So the resurgence of indigenous R&D and the focus of system development rather than doing a maintenance, re-engineering and redoing the foreign systems, studying the foreign systems and copying from them. Rather than that, ab initio systems, investing into newer frontier areas, first time in the world system, all these systems with the proper framework of project management paradigms we have done with, started doing from the Kalam era. Next. And the post-Kalam era, we have the systems in various domains, and we have had expertise from various collaborations within the country, outside the country, and combined programs, theater level operations with 3 services, and development of all the enabling technologies, so that India is counted among the technology leader of the whole world. Next. So why do we indigenize technology? Why the huge investment into defense R&D, whether it is required? It is essential. I just want to give this into a thought, because it will boost the entire country. It will boost the entire economic growth in the country. The entire product life cycle support is possible within the country. Suppose we import a system and we will get invested for life with that OEM. He will charge you heavily on each maintenance visit, and we have to play tune to all his fancy requirements if you are going for an imported system. The product life cycle system is a real change, game changer if it is an indigenous system, because these are all hidden costs which will not become very evident. The foreign exchange savings and the prohibitive cost that the country is required to pay for when we go for imported systems. The example you can see, you can Google and see what has happened for the aircraft carrier, the Gorshkov, the Vikramaditya deal. All these things are available for you to read. The political and strategically, the indigenization is very important because you have full control over the critical technologies. I hope the students are listening. We have to have full control of the critical technologies that the country needs for the defense systems. And we have to come out of the stigma of being an importer of the arms. And these systems can be switched off at wartime. We can be denied of technologies. When there is a spare requirement, there can be heavy denial, which will totally impede our readiness or operational readiness of our forces. And there can be intentional Trojan horses into the software-based systems, which will be active at the desire of the other supplier country, which will be totally caught off guard. So these are some of the requirements. There are multitude of other dimensions also why we indigenize defense technology. Next. So this is for all of us to be proud of. In pursuit of excellence, we are one of the 4 countries to have the early warning system, early warning and control system. We have one of the 5 countries to own a submarine. So indigenously design, I am talking about indigenous design and development, own submarines on our suit. We have one of the 5 countries to have the 4th+ generation fighter aircraft. We have one of the 5 countries to have its own ballistic missile defense program. One of the 6 countries in the world with nuclear-powered submarine. One of the 7 countries to have design and develop the main battle tank. One of the select few countries to have the electronic warfare program. We are not fully aware who all have others also, because most of these things are not, can be an under the carpet development also, which will not be evident. One of the few countries to have inducted a supersonic cruise missile, and we are exporting also. One of the 6 countries in the world to have designed and constructed an aircraft carrier. So these are capabilities of the country for us to be proud of, because essential requirement for the next generation, essential requirement for the new generation is to have the confidence in the country. When you look around, you see some all around the US, UK, all the others will be very, very attractive based on their, because those countries are built up by their people. Who will build India? Who will build our country? We have to build our own country. For that, you have to have confidence in our country. And what best testimony you want other than this. We are capable, we are less to none, and if we have a very focused program, we will cross all these milestones and see one day that we will be the superpower in the world. So for that, you have to make your choices accordingly and invest your resources within the country. That is one message which I thought I should be telling you, and taking this opportunity to drive this spirit into you. Next. So coming to DRDO naval technologies, where we are working in the field of underwater surveillance. Underwater surveillance, as I told you, it is very, very important for a country like us who's got a very vast 7,500 kilometers of coastline. It's open, and there are a lot of assets deployed through the coastline. We have people, we have heavy infrastructure, defense establishments, other major costly infrastructure that the country has built on, all deployed on through the coastline. So these have to be protected, plus the weapon capability available with the nation is capable of destroying the cities altogether. There are torpedoes and missiles capable of coming from a submarine which can totally devastate the cities. So these are real threats. For what do we do to mitigate all those threats? That we have to have a awareness that there is a threat. So how do we know about those threats? Because we have to have sensors. So we are invested into naval technologies to have early detection of all those systems. Next. And incidentally, those are the laboratories working in because I told you earlier, there are dedicated labs with the mandate of certain technology domains. NPOL in Kochi, Trikakara Kochi, NSTL in Visakhapatnam, and NMRL in Mumbai. Ambernath Mumbai is working into naval systems and technologies. Their research and development and product is oriented towards the requirements of Indian Navy. And in case of material technologies, these are the laboratories: DMRL Hyderabad, DLJ Jodhpur, and DMSRD Kanpur. These are all focused towards the material requirements of the services. Next. So as I told you, this vast coastline has to be protected. And how do we protect? It is as to engage, so detect and engage a threat which is coming from a non-friendly country through underwater is a real threat. And we have to, the only means of engaging that is by early detection. Early detection, because we have to detect means we have to know that there is a threat. So we have to have world-class smart sensors capable of long-range detection. We have to know when a enemy has started operation from the port of a foreign country. We have to know here, sitting in Indian port, we have to know that there is a threat coming. And before we come into the firing range of the other platform, we have to take action to mitigate that. So that is the real challenge. So early detection and to equipping the Indian Navy with state-of-art technology so they are well prepared is the mandate of our laboratory. Next. So I'll just go through because it's 11:30, I have to stop. So sonar system, there are 3 dimensions: the ship-based systems, the submarine-based systems, the sonar systems from airborne platforms, and there are off-board installations which are deployed along the floor of the ocean. All these systems are basically sensors. These sensors are capable of sensing acoustic waves. These are very, very small pressure variations which travel very far and far, kilometers and kilometers away. If there is a disturbance, we can sense it, and that is transducted into electrical energy, and that energy is amplified, processed. The most capable processing engines are used to extract useful information. It's a very vast signal processing domain, how to extract information from these very low signals, and then that using after processing and using modern visualization techniques, it is presented to a normal operator who has just done his 12th class and passed through the training programs, the mandatory training program of the Navy. He has to assimilate that picture and to understand that there is a threat. So that is the real challenge of a sonar system. From the ocean, the ambient noise data is coming all the while. From there, if there is any perturbation and any variation in the signal level, we have to sense and do give a warning to the operator and the commander of the platform. So this we operate in 3 dimensions: from ship, from submarine, and from airborne. So there are essentially all these things are sonars, but we have different variants based on different diverse requirements of the services. Next. So diverse portfolio. We have a dipping sonar, we have heavyweight torpedoes, decoys. Decoy is to fool the system. If there is a weapon coming to you, you give another, because all these weapons latch on to acoustic information. So you throw out another acoustic disturbance, the weapon will go and latch on to the other non-expendable asset, which is cheap, so that your main ship is saved. So there are decoy mechanisms, there are towed array system, there are variable depth systems, all sonobuoys being planted to sanitize the ocean. All these diverse portfolios are there, which NPOID is working on major systems. Next. So basically, all these diverse systems, sonar is essentially all these are sonars. So basically there is a sensor, which can be a single sensor to a multiple big array of sensors. Basically all these arrays are piezoelectric transducers. Newer technologies are coming into this making of the sensors. We are into smart sensors, we are into PVDF sensors. Newer materials are coming up. Research, there is a strong field in which sensors are, that is a field that you can work on. Newer sensing mechanisms. It need not be limited to acoustic waves alone. You can, whether laser will go underwater, whether we have any disturbance in the magnetic field can be sensed. If there is a heavy magnetic object coming in the ocean, can that be sensed? All these are coming up, are frontier areas into which researchers are invested in. So you can work on all those things. Then these are required to be amplified by electronics circuits. Then digital signal processing, DSP, which you will be, the basics you will be learning from here. And then visualization techniques. So be it any sonar, this is the essential functional block diagram. Next. And in developing these systems, we have to have a multidisciplinary integrated working of all these systems. We have to have transducers, we have to have signal conditioning, signal processing, human-machine interface and display is very important, because finally any equipment, as you know, is as good as its operator. If you give all the information which is not assimilatable by a normal operator, it is of no use. So HMI is very important, display, how you visualize those things, signal processing algorithms. The oceanography is very important, because how the acoustic waves travel through the ocean is depending on the conditions of the ocean. So that is also very important. Power electronics, because in the active mode of sonar, you have to pump the energy. It is an active mode. Passive mode, you just listen to what is the radiated noise level coming, what the ambient coming from all around. Whereas in the active, you give a ping and you wait for the echo, for the accurate ranging. So all those power electronics, simulation techniques, because we cannot take the system to the sea all the time. The major component in the life cycle of a system comes in the laboratory. So we have to simulate the ocean, we have to simulate many of the conditions which is not available in the laboratory. So that heavy investment on simulation and techniques and materials, as you know, the sensors, the rubber that we use, the adhesives that we use, very, very crucial technologies. A system can fail because of the failure of the adhesive. The shelf life, we use a system which is expended its shelf life, the entire mission can be jeopardized by by the non-performance of an adhesive, by deterioration in the quality of the adhesive. So everything is important, and the sonar system is an integrated multidisciplinary system with the heavy involvement of all these technologies. Next. So coming into the submarines. So sonar, compared to ships and sonar, submarine, if it has to leave the harbor, the sonar has to be operational. Whereas in the case of a ship, you have other sensing mechanism, the radar is there, the other navigation, everything, there are other equipment. And sonar is being used when there is a requirement of detecting submarines, underwater threats, which is not possible through a radar of the ship. Whereas for the submarine to move from the harbor, sonar has to be functional. That is why we say that sonar is the eye and ear of the submarine. It has to be in the fully operational ready condition for the submarine to go out. So it's a very safety critical system, and as I told you, it's an integrated system with the multiple sensors. The sensors are placed along the length and breadth of the submarine, and each sensor will give this information regarding the acoustic disturbances, and we process it and present it to the operator. There are different modes of operation: passive, active, intercept, OAS. All these things, it is difficult to explain in detail because of the paucity of time, but maybe some other occasion I can give when there is a specific topic to be discussed at depth. Then the tactical requirements. This sonar is the largest sensor on board the submarine, and as I told you earlier, multiple technology domains are working together towards that, and the high reliability and availability requirements, because most of these boats go out for more than 50 days in one stretch. So you can imagine an equipment has to be 24/7 operational for 50 days at once without switching off. So the level of reliability and availability of the system. So that calls for design concerns. You have to have redundant mechanisms. You have to have design for reliability. These are topics that you will be studying. How to design a system for reliability. How to design a system for manufacturability. All these things you will be investing in your curriculum. Next. So this is for you to see. You see this is a cross section of the submarine, and you can see that how heavily packed it is. This is the environment that the sonar engineers are working, and how difficult it is to install and set to work a system in this environment, not in the comfort of a laboratory or even a ship. Very cramped. You can hardly stand straight because the decks are there, and every inch there is an equipment, and that too we will be working in the submarine when it is in a non-operational condition. Our installation happens when there is heavy hot works going on, painting, all those activities are all going on. So it's a very difficult environment. So what I want to convey to this audience is that these things are not deterring us. These are constraints which make us more and more enthusiastic to work and see that. And I can tell you that women engineers are working equally shoulder to shoulder with men in all these environments. It's very difficult. You don't have a washroom. You have a washroom, but not qualified to call a room at all. You can just wiggle into that. So all these constraints are not at all deterring us from taking on these challenges. So we have done, and I can tell you that all the submarines of Indian Navy of this category is with the Indian sonar, Indian designed, Indian developed, with all the trials and acceptance done by the Indian scientists and engineers. It is a very remarkable achievement, and some of the details because I will not be able to share. Next. So the design and development life cycle from a laboratory environment to when it is deployed at sea. There are various stages in which a project takes. From laboratory, it moves into a factory. From laboratory, we are in a prototyping environment. We are doing design. We go through design iterations, and once we have finalized on that, we have ready with the design. It goes into the factory. From there, it goes the factory. A production grade system goes into the dockyards, and from there it goes on board a submarine or a ship or wherever, or an aircraft, wherever is a platform, and we do all sorts of trials because these systems are military systems which has to endure for more than 10 to 15 years. It has to go through various environment stress screening. It has to go through various environment tests, high temperature, rain test, fog test, altitude test, shock test, vibration test. You can go through the standards, which again IEEE has contributed very well into defining all those standards and coming up with frameworks and guidelines regarding how the system should, a process-oriented system should be developed. Onboard a submarine, after that it goes to the onboard submarine where the transducer. Till the 4th stage, there is no sensor involved. It's all coming from the acoustic signals are being simulated. From the 5th stage onwards, it's actually onboard. The system has become wet, and then we'll get actual signals from the ocean. And then it goes out to the sea, where it is the designed environment where the sonar has to perform and go for the sea trials. And depending on the stringent acceptance test trials by the user, the system has to pass and then gets inducted into service. This is the life cycle from breadboard to a field accepted system, how a system transcends into, and the time frame available for this will be depending on the requirement of the Navy, and you'll have to firm up your project iron triangle based on the requirements of the services. Next. So now it is evolving from a platform-oriented system. It is going into a network of sensors. Not sonar alone, we have radar on board, you have ESM on board, you have optical sensors on board, we have other velocity meters, cavitation meter. Many sensors are there on board. And these network sensors will give you much more information on the threat perception. Underwater, above water, shore-based, all this information will give you more, all these data will give you more information regarding the threat that the platform is facing or the threat that a area is facing. And that information is the strength of the commanding officer to take on concerted decisions and take action to whether to deploy a firing equipment, a weapon, and to take on such decision. So as we know that regarding the Iran-Iraq war and all, the famous quote where the biggest breakthrough of this fight is the information that the services have, information available to the right person at the right time in the right way. That will make all the difference in the war scenes. Next. So from warship, with an integration of multitude of sensors on the system, we can see that there are many systems, all military systems on board, and how all these information from all these sensors are available at a common console. You can just flip the pages and get all the information. So that level of integration is required for a modern military system, and we have to equip regarding that. So there are underlying requirements regarding communication technologies, high performance requirements, storage requirements, all these things. When we go deep into all these systems, you will come to know about the readiness requirements and the enabling technologies for each of these systems, and the opportunities thereof. Next. Then the future of warships, how artistic imagination of integration of newer technologies, the floodable garage, hypersonic missiles, torpedo bubbles, how the exterior should be tough, the holographic command center. These are all the countries are imagining, and how the sensors and the latest critical technologies get integrated into a single platform, and how powerful such a platform available to the services will be to see that There is no enemy capable of thinking of attacking us. These are things that we have to, I will not say dream, we have to ideate and develop so that these are critical systems available to the country to deter others from attacking us. Next. So the for future of warfare is no more a small system or a platform oriented system. We have to work in an integrated way. Not even Navy alone, we have to work along with Navy, Army and Air Force. Theater level operations, whereas the threat perception has to be given. What is a threat perception? We cannot give the information from a sonar alone to a sonar display and then wait for the operator to respond to that. We have to give what is happening around. This calls for a lot of data fusion from all the sensors, an integrated combat strategy, network sensors, and integration of AI into the system. AI also is coming up in a very, very major way into defense systems, and it all depends on how you feed the system to learn the system from. For example, I can tell you that you are listening to the ambient noise. So vast an ocean, and you are listening to the, I hope the students are listening and not chit-chatting. So the listening to the ambient noise. So the ambient noise is very random in nature, and whenever there is a disturbance, acoustic disturbance, there will be a radiated noise level from a military system can have a broadband noise plus tonals on top of that, and these tonals, no biological object in the ocean can manifest frequencies. Only a rotating equipment or a motor or a generator, all these things only can generate frequency information. So we can, when we listen to the ambient noise and there is nothing, no specific tonals coming into your signal processing, your output of the Fourier transforms, you can see that it is all, ambient noise only. Whenever there is a manifestation of a tonal, you can say that it is some disturbance is coming from a man-made equipment. So these are techniques with which we understand, and these things will travel from very far. Signals you can get from very far. So early detection of all these man-made disturbances will be a key input into the sonar. And there are many newer systems coming into use, like magnetic disturbances, like lasers, like newer sensors, smart sensors, nanomaterials. All these things are newer areas which are evolving. And the future is by integration of all these systems into one console, equipping the services with an integrated information from all these sensors, which I want to emphasize call for high performance computing requirements and communication. Exactly the theme of the, aligning with the theme of the conference. Next. So there is very many, because in case of research aspirants, these are the technologies into which the research is happening in futuristic technologies. Depending on the requirement of the forces, the AI detection and classification. Classification is a newer area. We have to depend on the signals emanating from the platform and say that this is this class of ship. You can even name the ship depending on the spectral analysis of the signals. You can say that this is this class of ships. And if there is not matching with the own fleet, you can say that it doesn't belong to the country. To that level, classification techniques we are developing. Next. And as I was emphasizing, it is all related to the awareness. It is not a mere sensor alone. It is all to do with the awareness. The awareness of the awareness regarding the threat perception, underwater domain awareness. So from a single sonar to a platform-centric integration, network-centric where we have cooperative engagement, integrated theater level operations, we are going into unmanned autonomous vehicles. The human asset is a very valuable asset, and we are moving into unmanned, you know that about drones and other things. We are investing into those technology. You can see the air launched drones. Similar to that, we have underwater autonomous vehicles. We have unmanned surface vessels with different categories of payloads depending on the requirements. Different categories of different types of payloads which are loaded onto that, and with the command and control from a mothership or a shore-based platform, it can go to many places and do the damage or sense what is required. So all these, we are moving into an unmanned system, and all these systems are potential AI enabling is heavily into that, and deep learning. With the kind of data that each sortie, each trial is for, I told you, it's about for 40 to 50 days. So the kind of information that the system will come back is huge. Humongous data is available. And that, sieving through this data, you can see, you can analyze deep learning techniques, you can involve in those data and say that we can design better and better systems by very, very useful analysis of those actual sea trial data. Next. So just a artistic representation of a future soldier with the heads-up display, with all around biosensors, body strengthened with nanoparticles to protect against impact, leg braces to capture the kinetic energy, exoskeleton, external skeleton to improve the performance and endurance, heavily armored, sonar panels to power him, and helmets, very sensor-powered helmets for his extreme protection. Next. And all these things from the ideation to production is also very important. So you can dream and have ideas, but unless it is coming out as a prototype system or engineered system, it's of no use. So we have to be grounded on that, and from design to production, what are the challenges involved? The challenges, the different skill sets are there. Scientists are generally innovation oriented, but when it comes to a production, you will be hit hard on certain things. By a production engineer saying that it's not possible, it's not manufacturable. We have to cut down on many of the frills depending on the constraints that the industry will put on you. And these conflicting interests will have to be managed. The role of R&D is to basic research, science and technology development, design development, making it ready for the field, that maybe if it is a sea or an aircraft or an air environment, and then effectively transfer this technology to a capable partner, industry partner. And what is the role of the industry to absorb this technology from the research partner and to engineer the system, and engineer with quality and with quality to face the environment that it is destined to, and to productionize the system and to continue to support the system through its life cycle, which may be 10 years or 15 years, and then based on the learnings from the field, give feedback to the R&D to have design iterations so that it comes up as a robust system. Next. So to give you a glimpse of the industry ecosystem that a sonar system alone require. These are the main. We have classified the industry into different tiers depending on their capability of assimilating the technology. Main system integrators, product subsystem developers, material developers, and the technical services. So you can see that across the length and breadth of the country, the technology is being transferred and assimilated. It is with you can see Bharat Electronics, you can see Keltron, you can see many of the electronic manufacturers from Bangalore, the production partners from Mumbai, L&T, all those majors are partnering with us to see that the ideation, the dream of a scientist translated into an idea is engineered into a system by the country. The entire country is partnering with us to realize the product. Next. And for you, for the DRDOs, I in my inaugural speech, I've talked about the ecosystem within the country, how enabling it is. So there are various forums in which DRDO has been engaging with the academia, with the best of the institutions, the IITs, with the Center of Excellences at various institutions like ISC, the Bardiyar University, Cochin University. And these are areas where you also can think of partnering in terms of academic projects, newer S&T areas into which there is research within the organization, and there is a planned roadmap of from where, because students will come and leave, but this thread of that research has to continue in that center. So depending on your roadmap of a research problem, you can engage, put up a proposal and take it with the DRDO to take this forward. So there are many models available how this can be taken up. The DRDO Academy interaction, there are a lot of challenges coming up for students and organizations to take up. There is a corpus of amount available with the DRDO in forms of technology development funds, which is available for the students and the research associates to take on. All these various forums and frameworks are available in the country, but you have to identify and take on onto all those things. Next. So I'll just end with this. The ideation pipe. It is, as I told you, these pipeline, its inlet is all the ideas that I know that all of you have these ideas in mind. Idea and dream is different. Dream need not be backed up by science and technology and R&D constraints. But your dream can be an initial seed to that, but dream has to be converted into ideas. And these ideas has to be backed up by the research, science and technology, and this from then on you have to iterate on your idea and you have to move forward. This is where the exciting happenings are there in the country. The startups, the MSMEs, heavily invested into ideas and taking on new projects, and you can see that good output is being produced in this. So ideation, then proof of technology. So for an idea, there can be many enabling technology requirements. You have to invest on that. Then those enabling technologies will move into a concept, and we can prove that concept in the simulation mode in the laboratory, and then we can take up a pilot project where funds will be invested by agencies like DRDO and ISRO. And then once that concept is being proved, then it can move into a technology transfer and an engineered product which can be demonstrated in the field. So this is, I request all of you to take cognizance of all this requirement, and then however absurd your idea may seem to be, passionately work on that, move into the next stage of proof of technology and proof of concept, present it to your professors, they will guide you, and I'm sure that many newer products will come into, and which the country needs. You can work on, as I told earlier, many of the themes. You can work on sustainability, you can work on energy management, you can work on the defense technologies. You can see the white papers which has been published by the government to see what are the themes into which India of 2050 has to work on. So all these themes you can latch on to whichever area which resonates with your passion and move forward. And incidentally, this is the book that I was referring to, II 2041, which is a very interesting read, and by Kai-Fu Lee and Shen Quan, who is Kai-Fu Lee is the Google CEO and earlier Google CEO, and Shen Quan is a science-fi writer. They have imagined 2041 and come up as stories. It is a very interesting read, and I will leave you at this. Next. So I just want to emphasize we have been fortunate to have a visionary leader like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and had the good fortune to be in the organization when he was heading our organization, sat with him in reviews, had conversations with him, and which we all on this till this day treasure as very, very treasured moments of our life. So he has interacted with the student community more than anybody else in this world. His books are motivation for the entire posterity, not only one generation, for the generations to come. And he has told that thinking is the capital, enterprise is the way, and hard work is the solution. You just latch on to this motivating statement and move ahead. I'm sure that future will be yours, and you will be ready to take on the challenges that the country is facing and make it and make this country a superpower as envisioned by our leaders. And it can happen only if you are invested into the country's requirements. So with this note, I will wish you all the best. I wish the conference all success. That this 2 days of deliberation come up with newer ideas, and as
of this conference, all others need to submit copyright form after their paper presentation in the conference. We will send the link to fill the copyright form soon after this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of organizing committee, I would like to extend a warm and heartfelt vote of thanks to each and every one of you for being a part of this conference. CSE department, with immense support of management, organizing this conference with the active support of faculty members of this department. The enormous support and encouragement from our chairman Shimit sir, our principal Manoj sir, our dean Mini madam are the fuel and energy of this conference. On behalf of CSE department, we express our sincere gratitude to all these persons, even though they are absent today during this moment. Our chief guest and associate director of NPOIL, Ms. Ramita madam, have gave an inaugural address and keynote address. Even though her words were very soft, she expressed the amount of effort, the contribution that our country has made, DRDO has made for the progress of our nation. She expressed in very clear and interesting way, sharing of her valuable insights and experiences, and your speech have truly enriched our conferences. Few of our MTech students are doing internship and research activities in NPOIL. We thankfully remember the visit of Anurag Director from DRDO for the inauguration of our first international conference in 2008. We hope your visit in FISAT will be the new beginning for the support of project-related activities for the students of FISAT. On behalf of all gathered here, let me express our sincere thanks to you, madam. Thank you, Ramita madam, for your inaugural address. Our vice principal is our constant motivator, a strong pillar stone for our FISAT. Sheila madam is with FISAT in CSE department for all our 6 international conferences. I thankfully remember all her contributions during the last 15 years with this conference for the successful conduction of various events. Thank you, Sheila madam, for the whole support. Our head of the department, Dr. Jyotish K. John, is the man behind this wonderful conference. During the last 1 year, he was completely involved with various phases of this conference. On behalf of FISAT, we congratulate and thank our head of the department, Dr. Jyotish K. John, for the great efforts for the execution of this conference program. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to thank the resource persons and delegates of this conference, respected head of the departments and faculty members of FISAT who are participating in offline and online mode. You will get the opportunity to make this conference a lively and interactive one. Your contributions with paper submissions have added new dimensions to our discussions. I'm sure that this conference will be a memorable one. I would also like to express my gratitude to our sponsor, IEEE, without whose support and generosity, this conference would not have been possible. Lastly, I would like to thank the organizing committee, CSE faculty and staff members for their hard work and dedication for the last 1 year to organize this conference. It has been a pleasure working with each and every one of our CSE team, a very dynamic, self-motivated and cooperative team of CSE departments. Once again, I thank you all for being part of this conference. Let us look forward for the future of India, as our chief guest mentioned. Let us contribute as much as possible for the benefit of this nation, for the benefit of this universe through our research and study activities. I wish you the best. Thank you once again all for the active presence during the inaugural ceremony of this international conference. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now we've come to an end of the session. I request all of you to rise for the national anthem. Please note, tea and snacks are provided for all the students outside the seminar hall.